everybody, this is Roman from Roman Empire Entertainment. I am joined by my good friend Izzy.
Yo!
And I am so excited here. We're doing a trailer reaction to Avengers, a Doomsday trailer that will be coming out, what is it, December 18th, Izzy? Is that when it's coming out?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to be holding our breath here until the movie actually comes out. Here we go with Avengers Doomsday.
Let's do this.
I feel like we should have the 20th Century Fox logo on here.
No.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Fox.
Yes. All right. And here we go.
Something's coming. Something we may not be able to deter. Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision. I've fought with many warriors in my time. They were far stronger than all of us put together, and they died. They died facing enemies and threats that scared me far less than this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Everything that they sacrificed will be for nothing if we do not stand together. Put aside your petty squabbles.
Yeah.
Presume nothing except this. If you return, you will return as brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Mark my words.
Namor.
We're going to need a miracle. Hey, pal. It's not possible.
December 18th.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's an Avengers Infinity Vision, I guess I don't need my glasses, huh?
Shouldn't.
All right. So what did you think, Izzy?
Oh, I am hyped. I think that was awesome. I think it was different. It definitely feels different. This team, like when they got that wide shot of the team, is I'm like, what are they gonna do? Especially after the he stopped Stormbreaker with his fingers, man. What does this team expect to do against this guy? This guy looks strong. It looks awesome. It looks very exciting. I'm excited to see how everyone kind of comes together. But oh yeah, this is hyped. This is really hyped.
I'm definitely still trying to form thoughts on this. I'm cautiously optimistic. That's
Certainly.
That's my way of looking at it because they're taking I'm going back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe phases 4 and 5. I'm trying to catch up. I don't know if it's going to really make that much of a difference. I'm certainly not going to commit to the TV shows.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not going to watch 2 seasons of Loki, WandaVision, Miss Marvel.
Have you seen them already?
My folks and I, we watched this stuff. We watched a lot of, Disney Plus a few years ago. And we all collectively, I think the litmus test was like, if they didn't like it, I didn't like it. And we usually uniformly didn't like something.
Right.
Like I said, we watched She-Hulk. We stopped watching She-Hulk. We watched The Eternals. We stopped watching The Eternals.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So I'm trying to get back with this. But I'm excited. I'm going to be positive about this because I want to see the Avengers get together again. They're bringing the old gang back together, albeit in somewhat different forms. Again, I feel like this is going to be just kind of an hors d'oeuvre of like a peace offering, I think, that they're giving us fans back.
Hmm.
I don't think it's something that we need to set the bar super high on compared to what has come in the last 5 years or so. But I feel like hopefully this will be something that will start the new Marvel age, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Definitely. I think it's smart to be a little cautious with this, especially given these last couple phases. They've been rather lackluster, I guess is the right word. They tend to be getting us really excited for things and then not following through with the best product. And it makes me skeptical, but it's hard not to get excited for an Avengers movie.
Right. And the fact that they have everybody together and they're mixing them up. And then, of
Hmm.
course, they're finally bringing the realization of acquiring the Fox, 20th Century Fox, into the MCU, essentially, with the Fantastic Four, with the X-Men all together. And then, because the whole thing, like, you've read Marvel comics before. So
Hmm.
we all kind of know the routine of like when we read those comics, it's like, okay, of course they're going to fight. That's always the first thing they do.
Right.
And then they start talking, and then they start working together and forming a plan together on what they need to do to
Hmm.
eliminate a common threat. In this case, it's going to be Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. But at the same time, I've been hearing word that they don't even really explain why he looks like Tony Stark, why he looks like Robert Downey Jr. in the whole
And
movie.
that seems like an interesting way to go about it because I feel like you would have to, right? Because, like, how do you just throw them in there? And especially like with the way they've kind of gone about with, like, the variants where they typically have looked the same, but also some characters don't. So I don't know how they explain that exactly. It's going to be because we already have two different actors that have played Reed Richards now. So how do you explain that some variants look like this, some variants don't? I don't know. It's interesting.
When you think about it, our thoughts, I think when we had, when they have like multiple universes, we always think it's just like a twin, like it looks exactly like the person.
Right.
And then some genius got the idea of like, hey, we can incorporate previous actors as these characters in the multiverse, which I guess would make sense if you're going to have a giant multiverse. They don't all necessarily have to look alike. And then you can even have different people look alike, because that would make sense with it.
Oh, yeah.
Are you planning on seeing the Avengers Endgame before this, the redone Endgame before this?
Yep. I just talked to my girlfriend today, actually, when we were talking about the movies we need to watch. And I was like, by the way, Endgame's coming back, and they say they're going to have more footage that's supposed to tie into this. So most definitely going to go see this. Oh, yeah.
If you're going to try to satiate everybody's appetite for, or at least whet their appetites, you're going to want to bring the best of Marvel's big guns, which is Avengers Endgame, into the fold.
Oh, absolutely.
But,
and it's cool for people who were maybe too young at the time to go see that, or even, they'll be able to go catch this in theaters this time, which is dope.
So, box office prediction. Do you think this is going to make a ton of money? Do you think it's going to make its money back in both the budget and the marketing? I'm hearing word that it's around $500 million budget. If you add 200 or 300, you're inching closer and closer to $1 billion. Do you think it's going to make its money back in both the marketing and the budget?
I think so. I think they definitely make their money back. I mean, it's an Avengers movie there again, not to get repetitive, but people get hyped for that, and just in general. People are gonna go see it just to see it. It's a date night movie. You know what I mean? It's a movie that us comic book nerds are gonna want to see. I know if I like it enough, I'm gonna go see it multiple times. I watched Endgame 6 times in theaters. So like I'll definitely go watch this again if I like it enough. And I got multiple people that I'd be willing to take and go see this with, you know what I mean? So like, I think so. I think they definitely have the opportunity to, and I think they will. I think they'll definitely make their money back, especially with people are going to want to see, you know what I mean? The Robert Downey Jr. I think sometimes people say, they put actors in movies just for the name to attract people. And honestly, it's going to work in this case because I'm curious as to see how that works. And Cap's coming back too. That's the perfect person to put in the first trailer. Like, oh yeah. So I want to see all them back, and just the X-Men. You could forget both of those guys, and just having the X-Men in it is going to take me there. Like, absolutely. Like, I'll go see anything the X-Men are in.
I was having a conversation with a couple of our mutual friends today, and I said that the X-Men movie, okay, let's say Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, let's say they're modest hits. Okay, let's have low expectations. Let's just say they're modest hits. They make more than what they were made. And I hate to be so like just so low expectations on this. I'm just trying to be cautious. I'm trying to be safe on this. The X-Men, I know it's animation, but like I've said to you several times before, the X-Men 97 season 2, my prediction is it has set the bar so high. And I was saying that X-Men fans, I believe that they are some of the most passionate, diverse, hardcore comic book fans you're going to get throughout the world.
Yep.
And if they don't hit that X-Men movie ball out of the stadium, then I think that could quite frankly bring the entire MCU down and collapse it like a star into a black hole essentially.
Yeah, I think so. I can definitely agree with that because it feels like they're almost banking on the X-Men saving them at this point because they know what they've got within the X-Men and themselves. And I feel like that's part of it too is like we haven't heard much. Like I feel like they've been pretty hush hush when it comes to the X-Men movie as a whole. You know what I mean? We get little bits here and there, a lot of rumors of who's playing this or that, but I think they're trying to do it right. I think Kevin Feige understands that he has to do it right to go from here because they've even changed how much product they're putting out because they know they were just overdoing it and just giving out a lot of mediocre projects, rushing stuff out, cutting that down, taking the time to do it right, especially with the product. And Kevin Feige loves the X-Men too. We know that. And this is where he got his start too. I think he's going to do it justice. I think he will. They kind of have to.
What do you think about the idea, Izzy, about the fans? You know, the fans, it seems like there's like a golden age essentially for the comic book period. You know, the 90s, we had like these super massive storylines that came out. You know, you had like 30, 40, 50 comics you had to get for these storylines. And again, I don't mean to make it like the world revolves around my generation because I know your generation, you're a little bit younger, you got younger fans, but I feel like there's a certain golden age there of comic books, of storylines.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like there's not really a lot that happened after maybe 2000, 2010. I feel like the comic books, I stopped reading comics after that point because I just wasn't interested anymore in those universes at those times. Do you feel like to get the new fans in that they just lean heavily into classics, or do you feel like they should go into newer territory, you know, maybe adapt stuff from the turn of the century, you know, after 2000?
I think you lean into the classics, I think, because I mean, they did it right and they really propelled the comics even further because weren't the comics kind of dipping for a while too? Like they were kind of slowed down a little bit and then they started doing these big storylines again and kind of brought a lot more people back into it. And I think that would be the same for the movies, you know what I mean? Especially now, like when they announced, well, at first, what was it, Kang Dynasty? Kang as a character, you know what I mean? I think it was cool because it's someone different at the time. And even now with the Doomsday and Secret Wars, those two names, especially Secret Wars, as soon as I saw that, I was all in from the jump. I saw that. Yeah, I talked to my brothers about it, talked to other people who have been into comic books and stuff like that. And just that and knowing what comes with it is like, oh, yeah. And then you get the younger crowd, especially who are all over the internet now, that are able to kind of look stuff up and, you know, go back and find things and discover those stories again because they're like, what Secret Wars? And I think Secret Wars is one of my favorites, like favorite stories that they've done. And I think it is smart to kind of lean into that because even the Infinity Saga, like they leaned heavy into the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. And I think it was great. They knocked it out the park. Granted, it was a large buildup over time. This one feels like it might be a little rushed. Also, given the main villain swap between Kang and Doctor Doom now, but I think they could do it, and I think they should. I think this is definitely the way to go to lean into those big storylines. There again, I'm kind of with you there, though. I haven't really been too into the newer comics. Not any fault of them. I just kind of fell off of, you know, keeping up with the new ones, so I don't really know even too many stories. I know they've like redone Civil War before and they've done some like they've redone other comics storylines, but I think you lean into the golden age, as you said. You definitely, they know what they've got. They know the product. And yeah, you just pick the good ones, you knock them out the park because they still got a lot of other good stuff too. Like they could do an Age of Apocalypse, I think, and they could do that later down the line. That's something else you could build up to. That would be awesome. I would love to see a really good Age of Apocalypse storyline because the last Apocalypse was not the best.
Yeah. if you did Apocalypse again, talking with a mutual friend earlier, get a really good actor, get somebody on the lines of Andy Serkis, good voice, mocap the heck out of it, get him in a suit, and then CGI the heck out of Apocalypse to get a genuinely good, to get, I think, a good version of that character. You know, like they did Thanos. I mean, they proved they could do that with Josh Brolin's
Mm-hmm.
Thanos, which I think is one of the finest digital performances around.
Oh, so good. And even when they did have to use the like a fake Thanos head when Thor's stabbing him, right? And he's like kind of holding him. Even that didn't look too bad. Like I think that just goes to show how well they did the CGI. And then the slight crossover to that, it just still looked really good. And it's, yeah, like you said, they killed it with Thanos. Thanos was awesome. Josh Brolin was the perfect person to play Thanos, and they can do that again. Absolutely, that's the way to go.
You know, if you're aware of like all of the action figures and the merchandise and the statues and the artwork, so much of it is just, it's that classic Marvel. You know, you're getting 70s, 80s, 90s, again, like what I call the golden era of the Marvel Comics universe. And then when I see like videos, you know, scrolling through TikTok or whatnot, I see some younger person, you know, collecting figures of all these classic Marvel characters. It just does my heart good when I see this, you know, because it's like these people have just as much of a love for these characters, you know, as much as you or I, and that's going to be your audience. You know, those are going to be the people that are going to, like you said, you know, see it multiple times, see it with a family, see it with the girlfriend, see it with, you know, see it with your friends, see it with another group of friends.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. They did. I noticed they did the little. A little bit of changes between the teaser trailer that they gave us originally and this one, slight ones, you know, touch ups and stuff. But it looks cool. I'm excited to see how everyone comes together again. Super excited to see the Fantastic Four in it too. They look so funny. Bright costumes.
Yeah, the whole thing, like with Mystique, I don't know, she looks a lot different than the original makeup design. They kind of,
I was gonna ask, what Mystique is that? Is that supposed to be the original one?
I'm assuming that these are all the original X-Men, like in their black costumes. I'm assuming that.
But Cyclops has his comic accurate costume
But
on,
he has a comic accurate costume. And
which
then,
is awesome, by the way.
but then Professor Xavier died in Logan, remember?
So I was talking to my girlfriend about this. Why I told her I think she needs to watch Days of Future Past, because are they going to pull from that era of it where they're all still alive and happy-go-lucky X-Men still?
See, this is why the X-Men almost it's like an anchor weighing down the MCU, because the MCU has up until now had a pretty good continuity establishing their own universe. Really good continuity. Like sterling, like Star Wars, you know, with their continuity.
Right. All these projects they've done too, which is hard.
Yeah, because, okay, what you have X-Men, X2, X-Men The Last Stand, right? Okay, that's the same continuity. You can follow those easily. Then you have First Class, which establishes that Professor Xavier had a relationship, a friendship with Raven Darkholme, the Mystique, which was never addressed in the X-Men 1. He's just like, who is this? And why would she try to kill him if they grew up together? It wouldn't make any sense.
And they have like no dialogue or anything like that would say that they were like had some kind of friendship, right?
Exactly. So, okay, let's say the First Class does exist in the same X-Men universe. It's the past, okay? It's the origins, all right? Maybe Professor Xavier forgot. I don't know. Maybe they had a falling out. Oh, and you had X-Men Origins Wolverine. Okay, so...
Oh, God, don't get me started on those. Oh, my gosh.
Sabretooth is just a recast. That's all. It's not a variant. It's just a recast. That's all it is. Okay, and then X-Men First Class came out. And then you had the Wolverine. The end of the Wolverine, the little end credits, Professor Xavier is like rolling his tuchus out with Magneto in the airport. And
I can't believe they made Silver Samurai like a mech soldier in that. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I did not like the Silver Samurai in that. He looked ridiculous. So the very end, so Professor Xavier, okay, maybe he got brought back to life. At the end of X-Men The Last Stand, we see that there's a little hint. It's his twin brother. Who cares? Whatever. He's back to life. So then they go back in time in Days of Future Past. It's the future, the possible future, okay?
So is that not an extension of Last Stand? Is it not continued from there?
It is continued, I would say, because we didn't see Jean Grey in the future, okay? So she did die as the Phoenix, all right? Then you have Logan, where it takes place after the events of Days of Future Past in the corrected timeline, the corrected future.
So that is connected. That is that timeline.
I'm going with that. Yeah, that it's connected. because
Okay.
Deadpool references it. Deadpool exists in that same universe. We learned that in Deadpool and Wolverine. And then
Mm.
the Wolverine that he snatches is from another universe, obviously, because he's going finding different variants. Okay. But then this begs the question, Professor Xavier died in Logan, right? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
and you had X-Men Apocalypse. So that exists in that same prior universe, that previous period, X-Men First Class, the Days of Future Past 70s, and then the X-Men Apocalypse 80s, and then X-Men Dark Phoenix 90s. Okay, that's fine. That's a timeline. Forget the fact they look, horrible only 10 years later.
Yeah.
They've aged really poorly.
All that stress.
All that stress. And then you have Beast in the end of the Marvels.
Oh, yeah.
He's around. So we either have to assume that there's an entirely new X-Men universe, that Professor X is dead from Logan. But then if that's the case, then it would exist in the same universe as Deadpool. It'd be the Fox X-Men universe, that number they designated in Deadpool or Wolverine.
Yeah, it's a very, especially when you lay it out. It's all over the place.
It's because a lot of it has to do with the fact they had different writers, different directors.
Mm.
I don't think they had, Kevin Feige obviously was doing his own thing with the MCU. I don't think they had like a real head of, like the czar, so to speak, of the X-Men for Fox, like we have to do it this way, and like I said, I think that weighs it down a little bit, Avengers Doomsday, with the X-Men and their screwed up continuity and timelines and all that. I think that's part of the problem with the movie, but again, suck it up and just go see the movie, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't ask too many questions because they'll never get answered.
My two things are they're either pulling, like I said, from the Days of Future Past ending, like maybe sometime between that and Logan. They're either pulling from that, but then that just makes Logan null to the story, which is lame. That was such a great cap to that. But it's either that or they're pulling from that universe at the end of the Marvels, right?
Yeah, where Beast was, it looked like,
because he references Professor Xavier there. But that means if you pull all them out, you got to have Beast back. You got to have Monica Rambeau's mom, right?
Binary.
Yeah. So you got to bring her back. Was those the only two characters they had the end credit scene? Did they have anyone else? I can't remember.
Binary, Monica Rambeau, and then Beast. Yeah, those are the only main characters.
So you'd have to bring those back. You don't just put them in there and then leave them.
Right. But see, my thing is, and not to sound too harsh on this, but they're going to have to kill off the Fox universe. They're going to have to kill off all the Fox X-Men.
I think that's expected, though. I think people understand that, and you kind of got to, because the only way to move on from them and all that is to just kill them.
My thing, and I don't want to get this too long on this subject, but my thoughts was that Captain Marvel was a hero. He was before Carol Danvers.
Carol Danvers.
Yeah, he was before Carol Danvers. They introduced him in the Silver Age in the 60s. So I thought they should have just dedicated the first movie to him, to Marvel. And then in the second movie, flipped it and maybe had him turn out to be a villain, that Carol Danvers, because, the betrayal, and she would have had to fight him. And then have Carol Danvers in the first film introduced as a civilian, and then have her become a hero in the second movie. I think they should have gone more in that route. But again, that's just my own, thoughts after seeing the Marvels and just, wanting to do something else other than see the movie, but holding down and watching it.
I like that idea. I think that would have been cool. I feel like they were kind of forced to push it forward, being the last movie that came out before Infinity War, right?
Yeah, they pushed that movie strong to be, and it was in between of Infinity War and Endgame. So yeah, I went in thinking there'd be a huge impact, but it wasn't a huge impact, but it was okay. It was an okay movie. The original Captain Marvel,
wasn't too bad. Wasn't the best. It was fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Some cool action sequences. I did like Brie Larson. I did like her in that movie. And the second one, that's another story for another day.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm almost thinking about doing a single review for that movie because it's just. So thank you everybody for watching this. If you got to this point with the Avengers Doomsday trailer reaction, and what did you think about it? Are you just as excited as we both are, or are you holding your breath like we both are? So let us know in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.